So can I go ahead and start? Okay. So I'm going to take it, kind of to start off, I'm going to take it back to last meeting. And last meeting, I was table topics master. And if there's one thing that you can kind of predict by now, every time I go as a table topics master, is that at least one of the questions or a couple that I'll ask will kind of be related to either a speech I did in the past or a speech I was going to do in the future. In the case, it'd be related to my speech today, which is about change. And that question that I'd asked was, if you could go back in time and change one of your biggest mistakes, would you do it? And on the receiving end, I got the answer of no. This was one of the answers I expected, either yes or no, because it was a yes or no question. And yes, by asking this question, I did end up kind of gathering a little bit of data to go off of for this speech. So, surprise. And once again, this was an answer that I was expecting because I've kind of gained a sense of predictability, from the meetings and the people that I've seen go up and speak. And today I will be talking about change in all the ways that it affects us as human beings, because it does that in a lot of ways. And I'll have three main points to go off of, starting with point number one, that change can be negative or positive. And people take change as a topic in general in a lot of different ways. And what I mean by negative or positive is that, for one thing, I guess I'll start with negative, is that it can cause a lot of stress, worries, doubt, and it's not really that good for your mental health. But like I said, there's different types of change. But at the same time, on the flip side, change also kind of restores your sense of empathy for other people or your surroundings, based off of whatever it was that changed you. Maybe it was a situation or event, just the circumstances that you were under, and that kind of affected you as a person and how you kind of see the world around you, I guess. And change also kind of affects, when I say energy levels, I mean kind of just how you function in those type of situations. Like going forward, change is something that's not necessarily semi-permanent, but since it does affect you, it'll also affect future situations that you're in and how you react and respond to those situations. My second point about change is that it's often misunderstood because, like I said earlier, a lot of people don't think that it's both negative and positive. They think it's either one. Either they completely don't like it, or they're like, okay, it's fine because it does help us. There's not really an in between. And that's not right because there's in betweens for everything. And some say that there's a quote that I've seen so many times where some people say that you haven't really changed. You're just kind of showing your true colors. What they really mean by that is, I guess, if you take someone or maybe something to be something and it turns out to not be like that, that's what they mean by true colors. But at the same time, there are people that, undergo change and everything. And that doesn't mean that it's not really that predictable. Like, that affects them and how they go, move forward and everything. And then people are completely different after change because everyone is different, of course, on their own. And that means that different people respond to change in different ways. They kind of react to change in different ways, and it changes their outlook in different situations in different ways. Like, you could put two people in the same situation after they've maybe undergone the same event and still completely different things would happen. Okay? Like, you'll see this a lot in cases, extreme cases being like PTSD. Different soldiers will have them. Some people might have gone under the same event, but more might have felt the effects of that event in a different way. The circumstances might be the same, but not always the end result. And my third point, my final point, is probably the most important, is that change is possible. Because there's a lot of people, especially, if you can think to when you've been at a low point, at one point, you've thought, I'll never be able to do this, never be able to overcome it, kind of, get over whatever boundary, obstacle, or situation that you're going through. And it really is. But change also has to come from inside. I hear this a lot from my parents, especially. They're like, if you do want to change your study habits or whatever it is, or how you compete and just different things I do, you have to do it from inside. Because, and this is something that they like to tell me a lot, but I'm still going to use it, is that you can take a horse to the river, but you can't get it to drink water. It has to do that by itself. So change is coming from inside. It's something that you do as a person. Other people might be able to influence that, but at the same time, no one can really make you do something. It's all up to you in the end. And I do want to kind of share another quote, not by my parents this time, and it's that the price of doing nothing is a lot higher than the price of change. This is said by former President Bill Clinton. And I think that this is really important because, well, for one thing, you could do nothing, which means that you wouldn't change. And however, let's say that it was a negative situation, which means if you were to do nothing, then the next time something similar or maybe the exact same thing, whatever it was, were to happen, then nothing would really happen. You wouldn't get anywhere. But if you do try to change, even it could be minor changes, if you still add something to it, then it will always be different. And you can just keep trying and trying until eventually you get to the point where you're happy, you're content with the end result. So that kind of summarizes my entire speech. And another thing that I kind of wanted to change up, I guess, with my speeches is usually I'll explain why I'm talking about something at the beginning. But I'm just going to do it now, kind of to conclude my speech. Is that we're at the end of the year, and I really enjoyed this Toastmaster session. And I've seen a lot of people, besides myself, kind of change and grow under the circumstances that we're being put under. So just kind of think about it, because change isn't always noticeable. Sometimes it feels like only your grandma notices, like, oh, you got taller. And you'll be like, oh, I did? I didn't know. But besides that, that's just something physical. Just kind of think about it. And I feel like whenever it's the end of something, like this is the end of the session, I always like to kind of reflect on how I've changed throughout the year. So just think about that. Thank you.
Thank you for that excellent speech, Ms. Anunya. Now, I believe you get into our evaluation from Mr. Isaac, and then we can go back into our award ceremony.
All right, thank you, everyone. Today I will be evaluating Anunya's speech on change, which I believe is a really good speech for a number of reasons. First, we can all relate to having to struggle with something and wanting to change. Now, some of us will be able to do it, some of us won't be able to do it, but we all had to overcome something, or we all had to change for the better. It is a very good message, which I think all people should know, that you can change. You have to put your own effort toward it. As she said, you can take a horse to the river, but you can't make it drink. You have to do that. I think that's a very powerful message. Now, a couple things I noticed were some of the transitions she used, as when she said, going on to my second point. Now, that is a good transition, but I believe there could also be some smoother transitions, such as moving to my next point, or that brings me to. Now, I believe this is her first speech, and for a first speech, this is a really well-written speech with a very powerful message. So she gets a lot of points for that. Moving on, I also noticed a lot of points where you were looking down at your notes. Now, I can't blame you for this. This is something we all do. This is something I used to do whenever I speak all the time. But in the future, you want to be able to remember your speech. So if you were giving it professionally, you could just do it off the top of your head. Use your hands for movements and maintain eye contact with your audience. That was another thing I saw that you could have improved on. But then again, that comes with practice, and that comes with giving more speeches. You learn with every single speech you do. Now, another thing I saw is you used a lot of filler words such as like and, such as like and. Now, we have been over in previous meetings, filler words not to use, and I also didn't see usage of the word of the day. But as I said before, this all comes with practice. This all comes with speaking more and gaining experience. This was your first speech, and it was a very excellent speech. But we all have stuff we can improve on, and I hope to hear another speech from you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent evaluation. Well done, Mr. Isaac. Now to bring back up our organizer, Miss Anna, to get back into our session, our final session.
Thank you, President Xavier Taylor. All right, so let's get back on it, and I'm gonna recognize Diana again, so that we will have the recorded memory and review it later for a good memory. Diana is the youngest member in the club, but she has a big heart. She always arrives at a meeting 15 minutes ahead of time. After that, she would start practicing her speeches. When it's her time to deliver her speech, she comes to the podium, gives a brief pause, and then she starts to speak. Her voice is assertive and convincing. She never shows the sign of fear. She just comes up and just does it. I admire her bravery. Diana, you're a natural speaker and leader. I'm honored to know you and watch you grow with the club. You are truly inspirational for all of us. Congratulations, Diana. All right, next I want to bring Jason to recognize the next
Michael will be my first.
Michael.
Thank you, Toastmasters. In evaluating Michael, it's easy. You did an excellent job. Every role you've had, whether it's speaker, evaluator, table topic master, grammarian, whatever it is, you excel. So great job. You use the word of the day. You don't use filler words that often. You have a good stage presence. The pace at which you speak is outstanding. Your knowledge of the subject matter is impeccable. I've learned so much from you. But you do a great job. So my advice is keep speaking, because you're very comfortable in front of the crowd. You're a natural speaker. You're a natural leader, and the sky's the limit for you. And whatever you do, whatever you pursue in speaking, and Toastmasters will have a major impact on that. So I appreciate you all semester with professionalism and your excellent speaking. And I look forward to hopefully having you next semester in here again. Thank you, Mike. With that, Toastmaster Horace with the next evaluation.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jason. Good afternoon, Cavaliers, Toastmasters, and Deanna. How you doing? So the first person that I will share my thoughts and insights on is Joseph Chin. The approach that I'm going to use is the evaluation criteria approach. So for those of you who may not know what the evaluation criteria approach is, I will briefly introduce it to you so that as we move forward in August, you will have it readily available, and anytime you need to give an evaluation, you'll be able to do so. So let me begin by saying first, Joseph is very confident. He's very well spoken. And he's one of those persons like myself who pays attention to detail. And I had to jot down a few notes so that I wouldn't tear up, right? Here's what I noticed about Joseph. He has a natural voice that is so well developed that when he gave his first speech, when I heard him from the very first time, his power, his smooth delivery, it instantly took me to a musician, an artist. Perhaps some of you know this sound. So that's right, Barry White. When Joseph started speaking, it instantly transforms me into the Barry White mode. Know this, Joseph, whatever you decide to do in life, if you need a second gig, I'm sure you can double as a Barry White sing-along, right? Imagine Gavelier's Got Talent. America would vote you #1 in that arena. Lastly, you've always sustained excellent eye contact, whether you're in the middle of a 5 to 7 minute presentation, or even you're responding to an extemporaneous table topic question. Even though you're virtually, that means sometimes we don't see all the body language, but we do see the hand gestures, and that aids in getting your points across. Now, with respect to maintaining both awareness and interest of your fellow Gaveliers, I think you have nailed that without a doubt. So here's the last thing I'll say so that I'll maintain my composure. Since you are in such command of the English language, this tends to display a key aspect of leadership experience. And you know what that means. That simply means your speeches, your presentations is in fact or are in fact motivating the others to do what you do. Thank you so much. Back to you, Madam Coordinator.
Next, I want to recognize Eric Zhao. Eric is known for his humor and his Chinese martial arts skills. But what strikes me the most is he's a good listener. Throughout every speech, he remains fully engaged. For example, following Isaac's icebreaker on his passion for yo-yo and cars, Eric eagerly requested demonstration of yo-yo tricks, which show he's genuinely interested. Eric's speeches are sincere and concise, and you are mature beyond your age. While I, as an adult, often make the meeting very formal, Eric constantly infuses the meeting with humor, thought-provoking thoughts, and imaginary table topics. So with that, I want to give a pen to Eric. Congratulations, Eric. Let me pass to Jason, to recognize Mia.
Thank you, Toastmaster Brandon. Mia, you've done a great job all semester. You're very brave and you're courageous. It takes a lot of effort to get in front of the crowd and give a speech, right? And you did it. You did a great job. Your knowledge of your subject matter is impeccable. You're very intelligent. You're very interesting. And you're also a great future, I guarantee you. So I'd like to also encourage you to continue giving speeches. Hopefully you'll be back next semester as well. And just keep doing a great job. I think the sky's the limit for you. So it's really been a pleasure to have you in class this semester. So with that, I'd like to give you a pen. Good job. And with that, I'll pass it back to Toastmaster Horse.
Thank you so much, Joseph, and everybody who is here in the virtual land. We too are issuing or giving out virtual pens. It'll come from Antidote, the hard copy one, right? So know that you are receiving a virtual pen. So the second person that I'd like to recognize, and how lucky of me to draw this person, right? The younger brother of who I just gave a recognition to, Jonathan. But he's not in the audience, but nevertheless, I will still read what I crafted up for him, right? Jonathan is also, what he reminds me is this: he's forever smiling with confidence, right? So I truly, truly like that about him. So again, he's confident, he's well-spoken, he's attention to detail, and he's inviting. I don't have a sound bite necessarily for Jonathan, but if you twist my arm, I would probably say that Jonathan could probably give Lamar Kendricks a run for the money. But he is pleasing. He's warm and he's a natural, he has a very natural speaking voice. What he did was delivered several presentations that clearly demonstrated excellent research, excellent project organization, and skills that almost, that's as importantly delivered his presentation. Like his brother, he speaks with great clarity and is certainly easily understood. His eye contact is really what tells the story for me. Whether he's looking directly at the camera like so, or he's momentarily pondering as his eyes pan back to the camera and looking dead on, we are still right there with him. He never leaves us from the story. Your most excellent presentation material, your hand gestures, your body language certainly aids tremendously in conveying your points. Whether you're identifying, hey, I made this 1 point, or I made 2 points, or I made 3 points, however the number of points, you used your virtual land handsomely. And as I said earlier, with respect and maintaining both awareness and interest of your fellow Gavaliers, you helped us to wrap ourselves. You keep us wrapped around your finger. That's just how powerful this young brother is, right? He's awesome. That's the only thing I can say. He's awesome. Here's how I'll end this before I shed a tear. In August, when we start up again, you guys better look out because Jonathan is going to run away with this. He's just a natural. It's fun to him, or maybe we don't see the hard work that goes on behind. But what I see in Jonathan as he's presenting, it's fun for him, and that's motivating for us all. Well, virtually, Jonathan, you will receive this pen. I know you will. Now back to you, Madam Coordinator.
Thank you, Horace. And I forgot to mention, everybody in the virtual land will receive this pin in the mail. It just they haven't been mailed out yet. I just got them. So, all right, it's a beautiful pin. Outstanding member, Toastmasters International. Next, I want to recognize Xavier Taylor. Xavier, you hold a special place as one of the oldest Gavel Club members. My heart just rejoices every time you speak. And when it comes to me to evaluate you, I never held back. The past year, you stepped into the club president role and successfully led the first new member orientation. You are a calming force in every meeting. You have a calm voice. You always address the room with confidence and poise. You constantly encourage everybody, applaud the last speaker. Under your leadership, the club flourished this past year. So I want to thank you for always giving the club meeting a positive energy. And I cannot wait to see one day our Navy will have you as an esteemed officer. Congratulations, Xavier. Next, I want to bring back Jason, recognize Owen.
Thank you. Owen, you also did a great job. You know what stands out to me the most about you was that Saturday morning at that community center. That was a real world example of communicating, speaking. We all took turns approaching potential members, basically doing a cold call sales pitch, trying to sell membership. And we each took a turn. And when it was your turn, you had the same feelings we had when it was our turn. Oh man, but you did it. And I was watching, you was awesome. Your body language was perfect. You was clear and concise. Your target customer knew exactly what what you were trying to do. And we gained an awesome member from this. So great job. Great job. That was a real world example of what Toastmasters has helped you with or whatever, been supported you with. So great job. If you bring that same passion, that same attitude, that same confidence to every speech you give, you're going to be great. So my advice is keep giving speeches, keep that confidence level high, be the Owen that was at that community center, and you'll do great. So with that, Owen, I appreciate the semester with you, and I'd like to give you this pen.
Thank you.
Thank you. And you did a great job. With that, I'll pass it to Toastmaster Horst.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jason. The next person that I want to recognize is Tim Joe. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not heard Tim deliver one of his tailored speeches, you have missed at least 3 wonderful and very insightful speeches. No need to fear. Tim's speeches can be accessed from our social media website, the YouTube channel. Tim has displayed and continues to display a natural, calming, yet humorous demeanor. Tim uses clever and awe-inspiring techniques of incorporating props when you give your speech. Now, with respect to humor, Tim always seems to get the repeated themed tabletop question that goes something like this. Hey, Tim, what's your favorite book you have read or the favorite books you're reading? And you tend to always answer, well, I don't really read books. I don't like reading books, right? And you never fail. And that's just a wonderful, honest answer every time. You perform excellently in the functionary role, especially as timer. And on that note, we just happen to have in District 43 a timer for the district, and his name is Tim. Well, if you're ever looking for a secondhand gig, I can surely give your name to the district director and say, we have another Tim if we need to give the other Tim a relief from being the timer for all the contests. Well, here's where I'll end on. I honestly do not have a sound bite. I've thought about singing for you just to see how you would take it. But I honestly don't have a sound bite to sing for you. But I would guess that if you actually needed a song, maybe one that would be really fitting since you have this wonderful skills of developing 3D models and printing them out. I would think Lean on Me by Jonathan Butler would be that song for you, because we know we could count on you, Tim, to bring us through. And with that, Tim, you should know that you will receive that wonderful pen through the mail that Anna is going to provide for you. Yay, Tim!
Thank you, Toastmaster Forrest Taylor. Next, I want to recognize our Toastmaster, Gavel Quinn. Quinn came to this club last year, and I understand it's a little bumpy road, but I just admire his ability to learn and grow. We all have witnessed how much he has grown, improved this year. So I applaud Quinn for constantly coming back and take on this difficult journey, because I have seen many Toastmasters come into the meeting once, twice, and never came back. But he came back over and over because he wanted to improve. He wanted to develop himself. So for that courage, I want to recognize Quinn for your wonderful school year in the Toastmasters. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
With that, I will pass to Jason to recognize Jenny, who is not here today, but we'll recognize her.
Thank you. The Jeannie also did a great job. She's courageous as well. She walked up in front of the crowd, gave speeches, evaluations, table topic master, whatever role. She courageously walked up and she accomplished her goal, and she done a great job. I would also like to see Jeannie continue to giving speeches, put herself in those opportunities to continue to grow. She's very intelligent. She's very interesting. Her abilities are through the roof, and her confidence level, when it matches, sky's the limit. She's going to be a great speaker and just more repetition. So great job, Jeannie. Owen has your pen, and we hope to see you next semester. Thank you, Toastmasters. And with that, I'll pass it to Toastmaster Horace.
Thank you again, Toastmaster Jason. The next person that I recognize is Rajav. Rajav is one of our newer members, but interestingly enough, it's as though he's been with us all along the way. Following his introductory icebreaker speech, he didn't hesitate to volunteer to take on club meeting roles. And that's an interesting fact to note, because it keeps things in perspective. And by that, I simply mean it shows he has already this innate leadership quality, right? Leaders tend to volunteer and lead things forward. That's one thing that I really, really appreciated in you, sir. The fact that you volunteered and said, yes, I'll do that. I'll do that. Whether you had been in the club for 2 months or 1 month or whatever the case may be, you stood up and did that. My hunch is, as we move into August and truly long term, I do believe you may end up one of those great humanitarian motivating speakers. I don't want to jinx anything, but on the scale of a Gandhi or a King or a Mandela, right? I do see that quality in you, because you're calm and your word choice, you know exactly what you are attempting to communicate to everyone. You're pleasing, you're inviting, and of course, you have that natural speaking ability. Here's how I'll end this. As we move forward into August and the years to come, right? I think every one of you had better watch out, because if you're looking to become president, you might have a challenge on your hand, right? Rajav is not gonna have it. I think he's gonna take this club to new heights. You know, we're talking watershed moments. I think it's gonna happen in the coming Gavel year. We just coined that phrase, the term, the Gavel year. Something's great is gonna happen. And with him and his, I guess his younger sister or older sister, something is gonna happen here this coming year. With this, sir, you will receive also that coveted pen that will be coming to you direct from UPS Anna. And all of us Toastmasters. Next to you, back to you, Madam Coordinator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Horace Taylor. Next, I want to recognize Isaac. Isaac is our newest member. He came to our club meeting after his mom saw our club flyer at Burt Ferguson Community Center. So he is the proof that our community outreach works. You showed your natural speaking ability the first time you spoke in a table topic session. You are a joy to listen to, whether it's about your hobby or any topic, a random topic. And you never hesitated to take on an important meeting role, such as evaluator, which you just did excellently. Isaac, I think you will be a wonderful speaker, public speaker, and a leader in the very near future. So I will look forward for you to come back in the new Gavel year, which Horace just mentioned. And I cannot wait to see what future holds for you. Thank you very much. Congratulations. With that, I will pass to Jason. Horace, do you have another person to recognize?
I have a final Gavalier to recognize. And this Gavalier is the last person that I do believe that's standing between us and summer break. But it goes like this. Ananya, she's also one of, mysteriously, but one of our newer members. But interestingly about her, she seemed to have already known everything about Toastmasters. So that says one of two things. She's already a Toastmaster, or she's been a Toastmaster, or she's been in speaking engagements over the years. But however we come by her, or that she come to us, we are totally grateful that you are here. As you just demonstrated in that speech, change. You went through 3 different iterations of change. And comfortably, you said, oh, by the way, this. Oh, and by the way, that. Just the confidence just oozing out. We know, as I tried to say a little while ago, something great, something really good is about to happen to the Gavel Club. And because of you, and because of you, and because of you, and of course you guys can see it, but I'm actually pointing to each and every one of you without calling each one of your names. All of you guys, honestly, are natural speakers. I hope what we're doing in this program is to helping you to refine just a little here, a little there, so that you can hit those 1, 2, or 3 points that you want to cover, and then you're off the stage, and you're just standing there, standing back and enjoying all the accolades. Well, Ananya, as you just demonstrated in that final speech, you're already ready. You're a natural. I don't know why you didn't come to us last year or the year before. So we have to get a whole lot out of you now before we leave you, before we lose you. And with that, I thank you for being a part of the Gavel Club, ma'am. I thank your parents for bringing you to the Gavel Club. And with
Thank you.
And Anna, it's back over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jason.
Oh,
There's one more Gavalier I want to recognize, and that's my son, Peter Shi. He is the immediate past president. And to be honest, I had so much fun building up this club with Peter. We had a lot of good time together, and we had a lot of arguments too, but I don't regret any part of it because we learned from each other. I learned from Peter, and Peter also learned from me and every Gavalier and the coordinators in this club. So Peter is gonna go to the college this fall, and I'm just very excited for him because whatever he learned, he grew here, he will definitely apply in the college. Peter, since he's leaving, I would like to invite Peter to say something really short because he can go on forever. Maybe just a minute, a half. Okay.
Okay. All right. Hello everybody. So like Mama said, a couple years back, she really took the initiative and said, I really want to start this club. And something that really inspired me was about 2 years ago when we initially tried to start this Gavel club. I ran for my class president. And if some of the people in the room know me, I'm a very outgoing guy. So I was like, piece of cake, I'm going to go up on the stage and I'm going to kill it. But when I got up on stage and I had to give a speech, my legs started shaking. I started stuttering a lot. And it quite was just a disaster. So, and my reputation was ruined. I'm supposed to be this outgoing, charismatic, funny guy. But then when I got on stage, I can't do a simple speech. So after that, my mom came to me with the idea of a Gavel Club. And to be quite honest, I didn't feel good enough to run a club like this. How could I lead a club full of people who can probably speak better than me? However, my mom pushed me, and we worked together to kind of build this up. And I'm so glad that we have a bunch of new members and a bunch of returning members that I've seen for a while. And so, yeah, and I kind of want to just touch on Anyanya's speech at the beginning, because I wanted to kind of talk about that, where at first I did not believe I was good enough at public speaking. And then I sought to change. That's something that I wanted to change about myself and I wanted to improve on. So I call all of you to, not just in Toastmasters, to take what you learned in Toastmasters and to apply that change into your life. Because I've seen that throughout my life, whether it's working with the Memphis Grizzlies, whether it's doing an internship with Bank of America, these small little skills that you learn in this Toastmasters can be taken and applied to huge skills. So yeah, seek change, seek to innovate, be creative, and maybe you can change the world. All right, thank you.
All right, that was good. Thank you very much. And I would like to invite Sriya to comment on our meetings. You have attended this meeting, the previous one, I think the one before, so 3 meetings. So Sriya, what do you think about your experience?
Although only being in 3 meetings, not the whole semester, I'm glad I was able to reach out and experience this new opportunity. I'm I'm glad to see that there are many people who are not only experienced but have a lot of wisdom in public speaking. It's very inspiring to see people who are ahead of me, but I'm glad for this new experience. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Sriya. Yeah, that's what we are trying to do. And I saw the hand up from Tony, our coordinator. Tony, do you have some?
Yes, thank you so much, Anna.
Yeah.
I just want to congratulate all of the students for their growth. And it's very obvious as I attend the meetings and listen, I really want to concur with Peter. If I had to ask who would your favorite teacher be, it would be one just like Anna. I think Anna is very authentic and very organic in her concern for members. She's very formal, like she said, but yet she's very flexible. She's well versed and she's analytical. She's very supportive and she encourages each student. Anytime she gets up to evaluate, she encourages them and motivates them to continue to do better. The same for Jason. I truly think about Jason all the time. Jason is a girl's dad, for real. He sets the expectations that young men, when Deanna becomes an adult or young adult, it's going to be hard for her to choose because her father has set such high standards for her. So it's going to be really hard for her to choose. But congratulations, Deanna. You really have a wonderful, wonderful dad. Mine was the same way. I was spoiled rotten and loved it. So congratulations. I'm glad you are part of the team because glossophobia will not be one of your problems. Glossophobia is the fear of public speaking. You won't have that problem because you're already getting all of that fear out of your system based on your dad's encouragement. So congratulations on that. I look at Horace. Horace is truly dedicated to excellence. And he's one of those fathers that he appears to be gentle and humorous, but he's very firm. You can say, I don't want to do that. He'll say, it's not, you don't have a choice. I said you're going to do that. I've seen him do this. And that's what it takes sometimes for us to move forward, is to have that firm, gentle love pushed on us. And Eric is an example of courage and determination. Eric Tree has that he does not allow his speech impediment to stop him from speaking. So all of this mentorship is showered upon you as youth. And I hope that you'll take something from each one of these mentors, absorb it, use it, let it become part of your DNA, and just continue to grow. I am so glad that I have an opportunity to sit in and witness the progress. Congratulations, Peter. I know you'll do well in college because you have the foundation already set for you. So thank you, Anna, for allowing me to speak, take up these few minutes of your time in your class. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Back to you.
Let's give Tony a round of applause again. Thank you, Tony. I think we coordinators, we did put in a lot of time and effort. Yes, we'll do that. And yeah, and Tony, thank you for recognizing all the coordinators. I cannot say more because I'm gonna tear up. But yeah, we had a very good Gavel year. And next, we're gonna look forward to the August, which Jason's gonna talk a little bit about it.
Thank you, Toastmasters. It's been a great semester. Once again, I appreciate everybody's efforts and support, and great job by everyone. Definitely, including myself, grew a lot this semester. We hope to keep it going next semester. So I don't know how many people is returning next semester. I hope all of you. I know some of you going off to college. It may be difficult, but I'd like to encourage all of you, one, to return if you can, and then two, invite a friend. Let's set a goal for the first class. Try to bring a friend, a classmate, a coworker, whatever it is, someone who could benefit. Because the proof's in the pudding, right? This Toastmasters is helping all of us. So let's cascade that impact. Let's bring a friend and let's introduce them to Toastmasters. You know they'll have a great time. They'll learn a lot, and it'll be a positive environment. So that's just my request or my ask from to everyone. Try to bring a friend next semester. Thank you, guys.
Okay, I think that's a wrap for this school year. Does anybody have any comments or questions before we close out?
Yes, I do.
Okay, Eric.
I would like to thank y'all for a fantastic year. Each one of y'all have taught me something, and I've enjoyed the wonderful speeches and evaluations from each of y'all. And I cannot wait for next year. And the futures, y'all, the futures, y'all will, excuse me for a second. I know in your future careers, y'all will go on to do some outstanding things. And I want to thank y'all for letting me be a part of the Memphis Gavel Club. Thanks y'all so much.
All right, thank you, Eric. Okay, let's close it out. I'll see you in August. See you.
See you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh.
You got. Yes.